We're grilling a roast today. I'm Susie Felton. Welcome to Mrs. Montana Rancher. So we're at the grill. We've got a roast on. We are learning how to grill a roast. If you're a beginner, once you learn how to do this, it's going to change your world. If you consider yourself kind of a pro at the grill, this might be old news, but you never know when you're going to pick up some new tips. So we're starting from the basics, and we're prepping a roast today for lunch for the ranch crew. I'm a ranch wife, a mom, an educator, and an entrepreneur. And together with my Montana Rancher, we raise cattle, kids, and crops in Big Sky Country. One thing I do is that I cook for the ranch crew every day, and it is a full-time job. But I want to talk a little bit about how your grill works. And so if you're not familiar with your grill, whether it's gas or smoker grill like mine, one of the key things to understanding how to cook on the grill is understanding direct heat versus indirect heat. Now, when you crank that grill up like we did when we cooked a steak, we were using direct heat on a gas grill. So we get that heat as high as it'll go. On a gas grill, you see flames underneath. That is direct heat, and you can cook things hot and fast. It's a great method. But when we're talking about a roast, we need a combination of direct heat and indirect heat. And what indirect heat is really what a smoker grill is meant to do. It heats the entire grill, and I have a thermometer to tell me where that grill is in temp, but none of the heat is directly under what you're grilling. On a gas grill, you can use the same method, but it's a little bit trickier. You have to turn one side of your grill up high, and you turn one side off. And you maintain your temperature with the side that's on, but you put your roast or whatever you're cooking on the side that's off. So let me say that again. If you're using a gas grill to do this method of indirect heat, you turn one burner on one side. You might have a combination of more than two burners, but you turn one side on and you monitor your heat with the side that's on, and you turn one side off. The side that's off is your indirect heat, and you're going to put what you're cooking, what you're grilling, on the indirect heat side. So smoker grills are meant to do that, but you won't be able to do this roast until you kind of get a handle on that. So we're grilling a roast. I chose a rump roast, that just a basic, probably 4-pound rump roast. It's time to get our roast prepped for the grill. Very simple. You can use any type of seasoning you choose. I prefer to use a rub. And in this case, I'm making my own, but you can really use anything you find. I've used Montreal steak seasoning for years. I'm kind of into doing my own now. You can get fancy, you can go basic. Remember, salt and pepper is always your friend. So we're gonna start getting our rub together and prepping our roast for the barbecue. We'll start by making a really basic rub that we're going to put onto this roast before we put it on the grill. And I started out with equal parts salt. You can use kosher salt, sea salt, your choice. A lot of the barbecuers now are using kosher salt, but don't let that hang you up. Just get on the grill. You can fine tune it as you get better. Salt, garlic powder, and pepper. Things we all have in our pantry. I didn't have to shop special for this. And I'll just stir that up. And then once I get that done, I want to liberally coat this roast in the rub. So I'm going to really sprinkle it on there good. And then when I'm all done, I'm going to massage it in by hand to get really good coverage. Now you want to think about a crust almost. So and a lot of this, it's not like you're salting your meat at the table. I'm using my hands because I'm rubbing this in. A lot of this will flavor the meat and move through the meat, and some of it'll burn off on the barbecue. So you want to have that flavor. We'll get that on all sides. And really get a nice crust going on in this roast. And so when you're done, you'll have this beautiful flavored roast ready to go on your grill. So now we're ready to get our roast onto the grill. We've got a rub on there. We've got our grill preheated to 300 degrees. And all we're gonna do Let's open that grill up. So we're gonna grab that beautiful roast, all seasoned, and we're gonna set it over indirect heat onto the grill. I've got my grill set at 300 degrees. I'm also going to put a thermometer into that roast so I can check it without continually opening and closing the lid. But that's getting a little more advanced. Most of the smoker grills have a thermometer built in. If you're using a gas grill, don't worry about it. It takes a while for it to come up. You can use a traditional thermometer. So you can use your tried and true traditional thermometer. You're just gonna have to lift the lid and check it periodically. We're gonna put that thermometer into our meat. There we go. And we can close our lid. And we're good until our roast comes up to our desired temperature. So I've got my roast here almost up to temp. I'm gonna pull it off, and then I'm gonna crank that smoker grill clear up to like 400, 450. I'm gonna let you guys look at this real quick before I do that. So it's gonna let all my heat out. So I put that roast on almost 2 hours ago, hour and a half ago, at 300 degrees, and I threw a thermometer in it. It has that great rub on it. I didn't touch it again. I just let it get into that. I just let it bake until it came up to in the neighborhood of 130 degrees. We're gonna reverse sear it, so it's not done yet. So let me grab without, probably didn't bring anything to get this off, so we'll have to just bring it like this. Okay. So now we've got this beautiful roast sitting here, and we're gonna reverse sear. And I'm gonna crank this. Let's see if I get to the right, I wanna get to our grill. Excuse me if we are gonna crank this thing up. So I set that grill at 450. I want it to come up as fast as possible. So this is a basic rump roast. I put it on almost an hour and a half ago at 300 degrees, and I've just left it alone. This is what it looks like. I'm bringing my barbecue as hot as I can get it, and we're gonna reverse sear it before we're done here today. And a little bit, oh, we are up to temp though, so we are ready to sear. So let's talk about that again and get this on to sear. I'm gonna take the temperature probe out. So that's what's nice about these smoker grills, is they have the built-in temperature. Okay, we're using a technique called reverse searing today. I could have done this at the beginning. It really wouldn't have, I'm kind of digging the reverse searing, but you could just as easily, if I have a big lunch planned and I don't want to be out here messing with the barbecue at the very end, I sear it at the beginning. So all searing is getting that barbecue really hot, putting this right over the hottest part of the barbecue, and getting those grill marks. It seals all the good stuff inside your beef. So my barbecue, it's almost up to 500, so we have got plenty of heat here. We're gonna pick that up. Now, if you're using a propane grill, you sear right on top of the direct heat, so right on top of the flame. If you're using, you can hear that sizzle. Woohoo! Okay. A couple of minutes on each side will do the searing job that you're looking for. You don't have to sear it a whole lot longer than 2 to 4 minutes aside. If you want those crosshatch marks, halfway through, pick it up and give it a turn, and you'll get those cross marks. I only worry about that if I'm having like a fancy dancy thing, usually feeding the crew. I don't worry about making it look pretty. It works just the same, not touching it. So we're letting this one go a couple minutes. You can see it's really hot in there. We're gonna get a sear mark on that roast, and we'll flip it over, we'll sear the other side, and we'll be ready to let that roast sit. We're gonna go ahead and flip this over. It's been on here a couple minutes. And you can see I have this barbecue really cranked up. Oh, look at those. I'm gonna pull it out so you can see it. See those beautiful sear marks? You don't wanna burn it, you just wanna get those pretty marks. We got it seared on that side, and we're gonna sear it on the other side, and then we're gonna be ready. When I pull this roast off, as soon as both sides are seared, I'm gonna let it rest for 20 minutes. You can do a steak 5 to 10 minutes. I really like a roast to rest a full 20 before I start slicing in it. And all that's gonna do is seal all the good stuff inside, and so your juices don't all run out when you slice it. It's gonna really improve your outcome, the end result. So it doesn't take very long to sear when you can crank that barbecue up. And I'm telling you, it's telling you something here, because I can see my breath outside in Montana today. It's raining. We're calling for some light snow tonight. It is less than warm out here. So it takes a lot to keep a grill clear up hot enough to sear that quick. How to grill a roast. Really quick from the beginning. We chose a rump roast. You could choose a sirloin tip roast. The one thing you don't want to choose for this method is like a chuck roast. Stay away from all the chuck. You can grill and you can smoke a chuck roast, but you want to do it for a considerably lower temp and longer time period than we did today. And I have a really cool recipe that I want to try. I haven't done it yet, with chuck roast on the smoker grill, but it involves hours and hours of smoking it on the grill. And that's not what we're doing today. We are doing lunch. It has taken this roast an hour and a half or so to come up to temperature, but it didn't take like 5 or 6 hours like if you were low smoking a chuck roast. So we chose a rump roast. A sirloin roast or a sirloin tip roast would also be a good choice for this method, as well as tri-tip. And we'll do a video just dedicated to tri-tip, because tri-tip's my thing and I love it, and when we do it, we'll do one just for tri-tip, but this method works with tri-tip. So we took a roast, we put a really nice rub on there. We brought it up to room temperature for about a half an hour, and we put it on a grill at 300 degrees. We brought that roast clear up to our desired temperature of 130. Now, of course, you can play with that. That depends on you and how you like your meat. If you want it really rare, 120, 125. If you want it closer to medium, well, you're gonna go clear up to 150. In that area. So you just kind of want to play with it. We like it on the rare side, the medium rare side, and plus we're gonna use this again. There's only 3 of us for lunch today, so I'm gonna have leftovers. And I always like, if I'm gonna reheat meat, to kind of back off on how far I cook it, because I can always reheat it tomorrow or slice it thin for sandwiches, whatever I'm intending to do. So we've been searing this. We brought it clear up to our desired 125, 130. We turned our grill up really hot and we seared both sides, and we're done with that now. It only took a few minutes. We pulled that roast off of the grill and we are basically done. It's all we have to do now is let it rest. So I could take this roast inside. I can leave it just like it is. I could throw some tin foil on top to really trap that heat and continue cooking. It'll come up another 5 to 10 degrees in the resting time. So you pull it off. When I say 125 to 130, that is taking into account that it's going to come up another 5 to 10 degrees. That's going to happen as we let it rest. We're done. We just have to let it rest 20 minutes and we'll slice it. That's what's happening here on the ranch. We're having a rump roast that we grilled for lunch, and the guys are going to be heading in soon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Susie Felton. This is Mrs. Montana Rancher.